This is the gold-silver ratio, and whenever it reverses, silver outruns gold. And whenever this is falling, silver is outperforming gold. It takes fewer and fewer ounces of silver to equal the value of an ounce of gold when silver is rising faster than gold. So this ratio falls. Whenever it's climbing, gold is outperforming silver, and it requires more and more ounces of silver to equal the value of an ounce of gold. So back in the 90s here, gold fell 21%, silver rose 42% when that reversed. When this bull market started back in the 2000s, when silver, it started back here, but silver, actually, this was the real low in gold happened in late 1999, and gold outperformed silver, and then in 2001, gold made its double bottom, $3 higher than this bottom. And then gold was outperforming silver because silver was just moving sideways. But then when silver started to perform, it performed with a vengeance. Gold went up 169% during this period, but silver 330%. Then you had the crisis of '08, and gold outperformed silver. But then once the crisis was over with and things started recovering, silver outperformed gold by, gold rose 77%, silver 350% during this time period. Now, this ratio can also help you from buying precious metals. See, I've been buying since October of 2002 for gold and April of 2003 for silver. And so, but following this ratio keeps you buying one or the other, keeps you from buying one or the other when they're overvalued. And so, like for instance, I usually buy a mixture of gold and silver when it's 55 to 70, and then I buy only silver when it's over 70, and I bought only gold when this was under 45. I didn't buy any silver, and it prevented me from buying silver that was up at $40, $45, really what was expensive silver for the time. Now, we are up at 113 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold, and there is no time in human history that this has ever happened. Silver has never been, all of history, since the beginning of man, silver has never been this undervalued compared to gold. And this will revert one day. The big reversion is going to come when there's monetary demand. Because people will say, oh, well, silver's an industrial metal mostly, and so it's as industrial production slows down, we won't need as much silver, so demand will fall. But silver isn't just an industrial metal; it's an industrial metal and it's money. The industrial metal portion means that we use up most of the production. It also means that the vast majority of silver supply comes as a byproduct from mining copper, lead, and zinc. And so as those go away, the supply goes away just when monetary demand picks up. And that monetary demand is going to pick up when gold passes $2,500 or maybe $5,000 an ounce, and people look at silver and they go, wow, this is undervalued. That's when silver really explodes and catches up. Moving on, some viewer feedback on bail-ins and bailouts. One of the questions from Ethan Washington, quick question if someone doesn't mind answering. Let's say that things go crazy and there's hyperinflation in the U.S. and 1 ounce of gold becomes, that's supposed to be worth $250,000. How will that help people who hold gold? If I take my ounce of gold and sell it for $250,000, those dollars won't be worth what they are now. You might be able to buy a good TV with them, but not a house. Then, when there's a reset, they will just cancel those notes and knock zeros off. So exactly how does super high-priced gold help people who hold it in regards to the U.S. dollar price? Okay, your basic problem here is these last words, in regards to the U.S. dollar price. Oscar Wilde once said, today people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. And I have said, and I said it in my book, price means nothing. Value is everything. We all are chained to this, to measuring things with dollars. And that creates a fog so that we don't see what's going on. If you stop measuring things with dollars and start measuring the purchasing power of things, the value of things, instead of the price of things, then that fog is lifted. The most educational video that I have created in the last several years, and we just came out with it 2 weeks ago, What is a Wealth Cycle? Go and watch that, and it is about this. Basically, this question, I went down this road toward monetary history, economics, the precious metals sector. It was about 6,500 days ago. And I have answered this question probably 500 times. And I've made some very, very detailed explanations of it. And if you go and watch What is a Wealth Cycle? And another one you can watch is I did a countdown of the top 10 reasons I buy gold and silver, and reason number 3 is the myth of a Roman of a man's suit. It's been said by many people that an ounce of gold would buy a fine suit of clothes for a man: shoes, belt, suit of clothes, from ancient Roman times to today. But it can't. It bounces in a purchasing power range. It's your job to figure out what is undervalued and what is overvalued, sell the overvalued asset and buy the undervalued asset. In the last great precious metals market, bull market of the 70s, if you had sold a home at the beginning of that bull market and purchased gold with the proceeds of that home, in just 8.5 years, by January of 1980, you could have sold your gold and bought 10.7 homes. If you had bought silver at the beginning of that bull market and then sold it in January of 1980, sold your home, bought silver with the proceeds, take the same silver and sell it in January of 1980 and bought homes again, you would have been able to buy 17 homes just like the one you sold. That's 17 times true wealth. The value is up 17 times. It doesn't matter what the price is. If you had done the same thing with stocks, sold a share of the Dow back at the beginning of that bull market and bought gold, you would have been able to buy 28.1 shares of the Dow. If you had bought silver, you would have been able to buy 45.8 times. You're talking about 8.5 years, close to 50 times your wealth. These are immensely powerful tools. You need to understand them. Watch What is a Wealth Cycle. Watch reason number 3 of why I buy gold and silver. Moving on. The bursting of the Australian real estate bubble.